How you doing, everyone? Hi, Thomas. How are you doing? Clam? Hey, Bruce, Dominic. Oh boy. Um, uh, we're sort of rebooting today because over the last couple of days, actually, it may have been as much as a week, got back in touch with the guys at Aganor, and now we have some real options to choose from and to go ahead with our project that we had started. He was probably back in May or sometime. Um, Let me sort of go over some of the things. Hi, Junior. How you doing, man? Some of the stuff that we had. This is pretty much where we started. We had this time here and time there by Van Cleef and our pals. And the thing that we discovered is that there was this wonderful movement by Aganor. So that led us to the next thing to sort of inquire into another sort of form. Here's some different versions of it. Hi, GMT Master and Zahid. How you doing, guys? This is one from Chanel, but essentially what you have is retrograde minutes and a jumping hour. And just to give you a sort of reminder, there are different ways that this has been done. This is part of the Goldfield ones they had. Here's another picture that we had. Anyway, another one. This is one by Gerald Genta. Apparently, he did a number of things similar to this. Let me see if I have one we have. We're still looking at all different kinds of hands and movements and so forth, trying to get everybody back up to speed here. Jeez. I ended up with all these pictures. Let me see if I can sort of get to the one that we had. All right, now we had a lot of stuff we had done on this. Some were not. Okay, this was one of the. Well, no, that's not it. Here it is. This was sort of the earliest version we had. Sort of with one hand doing the minutes and then a jumping hour at the bottom. This was sort of the first prototype we had. And also, too, we had the case with the teardrop lugs. And we found this at Wooten Lannon and Kalen. So anyway, let me see where all of our stuff is. Oh boy, we had a really good. Boy, everything disappeared. Here we go. What I had is that we had the contest, and then the guy who had the best one in the contest. Well, it's in here somewhere. But what I do have is that there it is. This is what I was looking for right here. And essentially, it's probably the kind of thing that I think we talked about was having an enamel dial, and then we'll have get some kind of design that from 3 to 9, we'll have the retrograde minutes, and then down at the bottom, we'll have the jumping hour. Okay, so I see a bunch of people showed up when I was. Hi, Dwayne. Hi, Alman Reviews. Junior, GMT Master. How you doing, GMT Master? You're usually really late. What's going on? Okay. Hi, Boris Palablik. Yeah, this is what we're working on. We're working on minimal and unique. Now, let me let's see, what time is it? I'm probably going to have to go over this again, but here are some options that we have. This is sort of the first view of this. Agenor gave us, there are three different ways we could go about this. The first way would be to get an ETA movement, and then on top of that, put the retrograde module in there, the retrograde module and the jumping hour module. And by the time all is said and done on that one, they were talking about 4,000 Swiss francs. Now, the second option right here, I think, yeah, right here, would be exactly the same, except would use a Vauchour movement, which would be nice. And again, these are estimates, all right? That's all they are. The CHF 5000, this would roughly be what it would be with the movement with a Vauchour base underneath it, and the Vauchour would be a VMF 3000, okay? And that wouldn't be bad, have sort of a double nice thing. Okay, but the Vauchour and both the Vauchour and the ETA would both be off the shelf. Also, too, they'd be a little wider. Okay, finally, is this one, and this is one where we would end up with a wholly unique movement. And this would be where there would be Agenor would take one of their existing movements and modify it so that we would have our retrograde minutes and our jumping hours. Now, the modification of the movement would pretty much give us a new movement, which would be sort of fun. It would give us, not only would it be new, it'd be unique. And, you know, for that kind of movement, if you take a look at some watches with Agenor movements in it, they're like over the moon. So this is where we are right now. And I think that we need to talk about it. And I'll be talking to the other group later this afternoon. It has most of the rest of the United States to the west, and guys who get up really late in Europe. Put it that way. Okay, so hi Clam again. Geezer, hi Geezer. Hey Crappy, haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? Okay, guys, so what are your thoughts so far? These are the options we're looking at, and I'll give you something about the prices. Are you able to see this okay? Is that clear enough for you? What we've got here? Anyway, oh, good, thanks, Geezer. Now I took it down. All right, let me give it to you one more time. So these are the options we're looking at now. And these numbers are estimates, and they could go up or down. And the reason they may go up, that it would be fewer people would be able to get involved. They'd go down if more people got involved. So, and again, this is just for the movement. And if you're thinking, oh, well, you could run out and get a Rolex for that, you're absolutely right, and you'd have a Rolex. Nothing against Rolex. Right, GMT Master? Okay, so, all right, so let's get some of your thoughts about that. This is something, once we had the movement, we'd be in no hurry for the rest of the watch. Let me put it that way. Because once we had a movement, then we could sort of take our time and get the case. I think probably the case and the movement, make sure they fit together and everything. This would be the most crucial elements of it. And we could have the dials and the hands, not much of an issue. The bands wouldn't be a problem at all. I mean, we get any bands we wanted, I guess. Okay, so let's hear from you. What ideas or thoughts you have? Everybody's greeting one another. Hi, everybody. Any thoughts on that? Because I know we had it sort of revved up, and now it's sort of slowed down some, and now we got to get thinking about it revved up again because we've done a lot of the work. Why don't you make your own case at home? Well, you can do that. I'm not sure what you mean, Geezer. I mean, it's like making it from scratch. Hi, William. How you doing, man? Are ordering them from China. I don't know about the case, Geezer. If you can make your own case, fine. That'd be great. You could watch a lot of what's his name, Roger Smith videos. They got him. He's making the old case. He's grinding the gold. He starts with a bar of gold and he goes to town on it. That's always sort of fun. What I'm thinking really is like if we get again going to Boot and Lannon and Colin, we would have that one would be ready made for exactly the movement that we end up getting. And so then we could all do that. And that would be sort of nice, but it might be more expensive. I don't know. Oh, he's kidding. Geezer? I think Geezer never kids. Okay. We'll ask you a question regarding a pin buckle for Jean Rousseau curved strap for FP Jorn 42 millimeter perpetual rose gold. Besides FP, where can I get one? Nothing seems to fit. It's on a you want a pin buckle for a pin buckle? Good question. Robert, you might be able to find one on eBay. It's about the best I can get for you. Maybe the only other place, of course, would be through FP Jorn. So, but that's not something that would seem to have a lot of. Okay, let's see what's going on. A lot of custom makers can make them for you. Genre, so a pin buckle? I didn't know that, Geezer. There's you can get a pin buckle, but if you wanted to have a pin buckle that actually says FP Jorn on it, that may be a little different. All right, so far I've heard a resounding nothing from you guys about it. Oh, these are not a problem. Oh no, for strap. Yeah, I gotta tell you, ABP Paris those straps are fantastic. I have some that I got a while ago, and they're just great. Okay, so what else you guys got here? Anything? What is it? Is it too early or too late? I know some of you over in Asia, it's like 10 o'clock at night or something. Some places it's exactly 24 hours different. So it's only 8 o'clock. My Omega 8900 has twin mainsprings in series. Okay. Yeah, most of the dual barrels are that. This one's got twin timepieces in it in resonance. That was one thing we really haven't talked about, but I got a feeling that when we're thinking about it. Okay, Dominic, here we go. Here are the choices again, and this is the watch we're talking about. Okay, you just got a two-handed watch, one for minutes, one for jumping hours. Okay, just waking up, drinking coffee, and talking watches. Okay, there are temptations at all levels. On the one hand, 28 to 92 is pretty standard fare. and this part's going to look the same no matter what. But when you turn it over, I sure wouldn't want to look at a 2892. But sure, a little more so. Agonor a whole lot. Okay. I don't know. I got coffee too. Well, you guys are thinking I'll have a sip of my coffee, my chocolate, whatever it is. Okay. Well, while you're thinking about that, what about we've been doing a lot of stuff with independent watchmakers lately on the videos anyway. Any comments on that? Is the case going to be in steel? Yes. This is the case. What we did, Geezer, we took this case right here. There's a company called Voutilanen and Kalen. And it's owned by Kerry Voutilanen, and you'll see a lot of this style in his watches. And Ophion had this, and so what we did, we took one of their cases, or just sort of a picture of their case, and dropped in this dial with the numbers and stuff. This is a fancier version of it with someone who has some kind of artistic talents. And we thought it looked sort of cool. So we thought, well, hey, why don't we have one with teardrop lugs on it? And when I contacted Voutilanen and Kalen, they said, yeah, they're all set to go on it. All we needed was the dimensions of the movement. And the movements that we're talking about, the three here, are sort of their different widths and so forth, and so we'd have to know that too. Man, I tell you, my pandemic haircut, or lack of a haircut, is starting to escape from under my hat. It'll jump out pretty soon, and you'll be looking at the wild man of Borneo. So okay, let's see. I enjoy the Independent Watchmaker series. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that. The thing of it is that, where is it? I sort of discovered it with, well, I mean, this is my FP Journe is the independent, but some of the ones that are sort of hidden independents, you have independents where you've got these crazy high prices. And I'm talking about 100,000 plus, crazy high price. And then there's sort of a gap. And so what I was looking for is that there are a number of them who have other kinds of movements, and then it's their complication on top. One of the ones I really like is that Paul Gerber that has those the three golden rotors in the back. You look at the front, it looks like a typical Swatch watch. You turn it over, and there are those three golden rotors, and that's that kind of stuff is very cool. But what I found was that when I got my Roger Dubuis, and I was fortunate enough to get one that had a Roger Dubuis movement in it, and then I got this one. Now this one was actually almost a mistake, because I'd ordered another one by Daniel Roth, and the guy who sent it to me couldn't send it for some reason. So I got my money back, and it was sitting there. So I thought, well, I'll see if I can find another Daniel Roth, and ended up with this one. Now, this one is also a hybrid in that it's got the chronograph movement is a El Primero. So, and these, I tell you, for the prices, though, you end up with, you can get some very, very affordable watches by really renowned watchmakers. Now, you can get FP Journes too, but they cost too much. They cost a fortune. And I can't even afford the ones that I have now. I mean, if I went out and bought one, I couldn't afford it. You know, it's just things get sort of nuts, and so we got to look somewhere. I mean, you don't want to buy junk, and so you sort of go looking for something that has some special feature to it. That's what that whole series is about. Hi Lee, how you doing, man? Um, RGM is local to me, so I admire that being U.S. based. You know, Clam, the thing I like about Roland Murphy's watches is I like the way he uses these old American style movements that he sort of, I don't know, he puts his watches are based around those concepts. And that's sort of fun. I really like the Corps of Engineer watches that he makes. Okie doke. Well, you guys are still thinking about it, right? I wasn't asking, you know, we're not talking about a commitment. We're talking about, well, I know this took a while because we had everybody, we were all oh boy, let's go do this. And then nothing happened. Well, why did nothing happen? Well, we had little confusion plus a pandemic. How does that sound for you? All right. So let's hear your thoughts and so forth on this. You guys are, is everybody thunderstruck? I better not say anything. What is with you guys? You know, where's Clyde when we need him? He's never afraid to say anything. Okie doke. So you're thinking, what's going on here? Hi, Indrajit. How you doing, man? We were just talking here, wondering, what is it? Let's see. My preferences would be the third option. Okay, Dominic, thanks. This would be, I was sort of thinking the same thing. Remember, this dial isn't, this was simply the best of a bad lot that we had, including mine. But the idea of it is so it's going to be this. This option, though, the thing that attracts me to it are two things. One, it would be thinner because they could integrate what we wanted into an existing movement that they had. And that would be something. But then we'd have our own unique movement. I mean, it's one thing to have somebody, engrave your name on the back of an ETA or something. And a great bulk of watches are exactly that. They never made the watch. They put their name on it, and call it a day. I have on my Harry Winston. I love my Harry Winston, and it's one that has the Agenor retrograde on it, and it's got the Gerard Perregaux movement. But then on the back, when you turn it over and you look at, there's the old rotor with their name on it. You know. So there's some, we have that option. Oh, hey, Desmo BC, how you doing? Oh yeah, I'm glad you liked your Hamilton khaki. I like that too. ETA 6497. Love that 6497. Got it yesterday. Ed from Japan, huh? Desmo, are you in Japan, or are you in Canada, maybe? In BC? Anyway, wow, you got it for $300. That is good. Jeez. Okay, well, now that you got you got a really good deal, how would you like a really great deal? That's what we're talking about. Hey, AM Reviews. I'm luckily not a buyer for this watch, but if it were an Agenor option, sounds very good. But if I were the Agenor option, okay. This is, a lot of, in fact, most of the watches that have the name of these independent watchmakers on them, all they did was one of the the modifications, or they added a module. Like on my Harry Winston, the retrograde is a module on a Girard Perregaux. So this is, having one that the whole thing, the whole enchilada is Agenor, is like having, something very rare and very different and very interesting. And plus the fact that I really like the idea of jumping hour, which I don't have, or the retrograde minute, which I don't have. They're out there. I was showing some pictures, but this would be sort of cool. Okay, what are some other thoughts you have? Anybody? Most of the people I've talked to so far like the Agenor option. The problem is going to be is to have enough people so it's affordable, both to us and to them. I mean, if like 5 people like it, the amount of work that would go into it just either would make it prohibitively expensive, or something that that we couldn't afford. So we're all kinds of things we have to consider. But this is sort of really the beginning of the real discussion. We've had other discussions and thoughts and so forth, but this is the first time we've been able to say, okay, let's look at some numbers, let's look at some options. Now, where do we go from here? And now you're quiet, except thankfully for Amen and Dominic. Thank you guys. The rest of you guys, wake up. Can we use solid silver for the dial? You can use anything you want for the dial. This is what's nice about it. We have sort of we have options we never have with other watches that we bought. I've never had a watch that gives me that many options that doesn't cost a fortune. Okay, Dwayne, you like the third option. Amen, you like to review, but you're not going to be involved. Okay. All right. Well, I tell you, the afternoon group they're somehow, I don't know, maybe they're out of bed or something. You guys, when we come back later today, we can talk more about it. But like I said, this is the beginning, and we need to, if we're going to push this along. Hey, David, how you doing? From South Boca Raton, from South Jersey. Sure, good to see you. How you doing, David? What we're talking about this watch, and we have this from Agenor. These are the 3 options we have for this watch shown on the bottom. That one's not going to be exactly it. What's going to be it? We're going to use that case and that retrograde minutes and the jumping hour. And the 3 options we have is sort of the ETA with the Agenor module, Vossure with the Agenor module, or all Vossure. And this is what we're looking at right now. But anyway, it's 8:30 and our time is up. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Give you some time to think about this and give my hair more time to grow. And here's the thing about, I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, no, I don't know what the timeline would be or exactly how. I think once we made up our mind on the movement, then we could set a timeline. I mean, you get a much more definite timeline. Second of all, once we have the movement in our hands, then we could save up or slow down or so forth, for the case. And then on the dial, we had talked about an enamel dial, and I talked about an outfit here in Connecticut that's not far from where I live. But everything's been closed down for so long. We'll have to sort of get going on that. Hi, Nani Nuts, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, David. Yeah, okay. So that would be option. Sounds like option number two. Option number three. My attraction to option number three is the have an entire Agonor movement that we have. But there are other kind of options. I was born in Fairfield, and my father lives in West Haven. Oh, cool, William. You're at. I'm a. I'm sort of the one who I have a hearing loss, and so when they said "Go west, young man," I heard east, and so here I am in Connecticut from California, Southern California. Um, okay, my immediate budget is already committed to a Satori Billard and Kettlars. Okay. Um, well, like I said, is that this is something that we're gonna. I don't. It would be. I don't think we could say, okay, I'll take option one, I'll take option two, and someone else take option three. We're pretty much going to be committed all to the same option. The reason for that is simply for the numbers that they have to work with. We'll see. Okay, like I said, this is step number one, where we really had something that we can look at and say, hey, this thing can become a reality. Because before, I mean, we just didn't know. It was so anyhow. Okay, guys, listen. Well, if you're around at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 4 in the afternoon, I'll see you then. And I think it's like 2100 hours in Switzerland. Till then, gotta run.